RAHULA. A Vietnamese proverb says, "The son of a king becomes a king. The son of a temple attendant sweeps by and leaves." This proverb conveys the idea that the children of kings and officials are always protected and inherit positions of power, while ordinary people pass down lives of hard labor from generation to generation. It also implies the influence of lineage and heredity, an aspect that few people reflect upon deeply. Another Vietnamese proverb expresses a similar meaning. A child of a noble family may not resemble the fur, but will resemble the wings. In English, this is expressed as like father, like son. Thus, in society, although we may establish fairness and equality in terms of material rights, hereditary, lineage, and genetic conditions are difficult to equalize unless human beings consciously cultivate favorable conditions and create balanced environments across regions. Even without formal legal systems, the Japanese people quietly practice selective improvement over generations. As a result, today their physical stature has increased significantly, and the former expression, short Japanese, is no longer used. Of course, this is also due to improved material living standards and adequate nutrition. From this reality, it is evident that lineage and heredity plays a very important role in human life. In ancient India, Prince Siddhartha, born into the Kshatriya lineage, inherited exceptional intelligence and ability. Supported by favorable social conditions, Prince Siddhartha rose above all others and eventually became the Buddha Gautama, the unsurpassed king of the Dhamma. Later, although Rahula was sometimes mischievous or playful, through the sustaining power of the Buddha's noble lineage, he progressed steadily on the path of spiritual practice and became a great disciple, foremost in the practice of secret discipline. Rahula in his youth. As the direct grandson of King Suddhodana and the material grandson of King Supabuddha, Rahula was deeply loved and enjoyed a happy childhood. The reason for this is easy to understand. Prince Siddhartha not only renounced sensual pleasures, but also rejected the royal throne. Therefore, in the future, the successor to King Suddhodana would inevitably be Rahula. For this reason, Rahula was especially cherished within the royal palace. Moreover, Yasodhara was no longer able to live close to Prince Siddhartha, so her only joy was being with Rahula. The young boy, Rahula, was the living image of Siddhartha that remained with her. This, too, was a reason why Yasodhara indulged and pampered Rahula. 3 years after attaining enlightenment, the Buddha returned to Kapilavatthu to visit his royal father, his stepmother, Yasodhara, and Rahula. The king himself, among with the people, went out to welcome the Buddha. Yasodhara and Rahula did not join the procession. Instead, they watched from the upper floor. Even when the Buddha arrived at the palace, Yasodhara did not come out to pay homage. Rahula was always at his mother's side and therefore had not yet seen his father. When the Buddha, accompanied by Sariputta and Mahamoggallana, came to Yasodhara's residence, Rahula finally recognized his father. Yet, with his innate intelligence, although he was only 10 years old, Rahula immediately realized that the Buddha was no longer his personal father alone, but had become the great spiritual father of all beings. However, due to his childlike innocence, Rahula often wished to live together with the Buddha. Whenever he met the Buddha, he would ask for his inheritance. One day, after returning from the Nigroda Grove to the palace, the Buddha said to Sariputta, "This boy Rahula keeps asking me for an inheritance. I do not wish to give him the fragile happiness of worldly possessions. I wish to give him an invaluable treasure. I also do not want Rahula to inherit the royal throne. I only wish for him to go forth from the household life and seek the path of liberation. Therefore, I want you, Sariputta, to guide Rahula in ordaining him as a novice, making him the first Samanera in the Sangha. Endowed with the noble lineage of the Buddha, Rahula obeyed Sariputta and accompanied the princes and nobles in following the Buddha to Veluvana Monastery. There, he devoted himself to spiritual cultivation, continued the lineage of the noble ones, and eventually became foremost in the practice of secret discipline.